better today than yesterday.
Fantastic. And what can we expect? The kids are saying the Harmattan is Harmattanning. I'm sure that's to carry on for some time longer. Let us know what to expect.
Yeah, thanks so much, and good morning to our dear listeners and viewers. The Harmattan will still be with us today across the 16 region, except those in the western and the western north. We expect them to have some few medium and high clouds, but then they are not rain-producing system. They will also be in the dry and hazy. Their visibility is expected to be a bit good for them. In terms of relative humidity, we expect it to remain low across the country. Less than 10% is anticipated for the north, less than 40 for the middle and the coastal strip. For visibility, we expect it to range between 1,500 to 6,000 meters, or 1.5 kilometers to 6 kilometers across the regions. For the weekend, we are expecting visibility to be much, much poorer over the middle and the coastal strip, as we expect more dust to drift in. So we expect that we should limit our outdoor activities. In terms of taking care of ourselves, we need to protect the younger ones during the cold times, especially the night into the morning hours, because temperatures will be between 18 and 23 degrees Celsius. The afternoon will become hazy sunshine. We expect the sun, but then the dust particles is likely to scatter some of the shortwave radiation that will keep temperatures around 33, 36 across the country.
All right, Felicity, thank you so much for that update. Do have a fantastic weekend.
Thank you, and same to you.
Again, that was Felicity Ahafia, chief forecaster with the Ghana Met. Michael and one Sixtus Don Ulo in the studio. Gentlemen, again, good morning. How are we doing?
We're doing good.
Okay.
How are you doing?
I'm doing all right. Counting down up until Christmas Day. 10 days to go. What's usually the Christmas spread? What's on the dining table for Christmas breakfast, lunch, and dinner?
I haven't really celebrated Christmas in like 5-6 years.
Really?
Yeah, because I think I usually would be working on Christmas Day. So,
oh, okay.
Yeah, so maybe this one will be different.
Okay, but even on the days that you're working, when you go back home, what is the selection?
What he means is that he usually would be in the office. Being in the office is different from working. They are two different. And on Christmas Day, if you are in the office, you are just reading the news and
it's a more relaxed.
What kind of propaganda?
The only serious news you will get is fire outbreak.
That is true.
Which we expect every Christmas, New Year.
So long as
Easter.
I am driven out of my home to come to the office, it is work, whichever way you look at it.
I mean, but Sixtus, is very important that you mentioned fires. When we had Alex Nati of the Ghana National Fire Service with us last week, I believe, or was it this week? It's been such a long week, my goodness. He said that last year, between the 25th and the 26th of December, they were called out to 226 or so fires. Over 200 within the 2 days, within 48 hours. And as he outlined the challenges that the GNFS is facing, I think all of us have to be extra careful how we operate this Christmas. Fires can happen in anybody's home, establishment, business. So let's be careful.
The gas. And because it's a holiday season, you have everyone at home.
That's right.
The kids are playing. You may be not so attentive to what is happening around you because probably you are juggling 1, 2, 3 and you are not paying attention to the little ones. So I think that the holiday seasons are usually seasons that require a lot more attention. If you are a parent or an adult at home, you have to be a lot more attentive to the things around you. Otherwise, the fire you will not be able to avoid.
No, I agree. And as a kid, I remember I used to light fires and put it in the dustbin for no reason, just unsupervised and unruly. So if you have kids that...
How many kids did they used to soak for you?
Oh, I used to run from the lashes. My mother used to... I tell her, if you want to beat me, you have to catch me first. In any case, the Daily Graphic has this to say this morning. District level elections, over 66,000 vie for Assembly Unit Committee slots. And EC to uphold pink sheets on online portal, to upload, pink sheets on online portal. Asin Central, we can feed a nation with support. That's coming from the constituents. 72,000 acre Accra land judgment. Occupants won't be dispossessed. It's captured in page 26. We'll get to that as we proceed. Production of textbooks. Local publishers demand payment. They are demanding what is due them. Also on the front page of the Ghanaian Times, towards an accident-free Yuletide, we'll deal with reckless drivers. Transport operators warn. $200 million project to curb Accra perennial flooding takes off. Inflation falls to 26.4% in November. Hooray! It's music to my ears. Hopefully we're feeling it. We're seeing it reflect in our pockets. 600. Oh, okay. We'll gauge the response on the social. So do check us out.
Have you ever heard that prices have dropped in this country?
I mean,
but
not really.
I think it's important to clear this up.
Sure.
We always expect prices to fall when inflation figures drop. But
Right.
No, not always.
No, but the point is that,
Sometimes.
just for clarification purposes, inflation is the rate at which prices increase.
Increase.
Yes.
So when inflation drops, it doesn't mean price have dropped. It just
Okay.
means that the rate at which they are increasing has slowed down.
If the thing was 70% and it goes down to 50%, that's about a 20% reduction. All I can expect is that if I was buying a tuber of yam at 10 Ghana cedis, I should be able to get it for 9 Ghana cedis.
Which is not the case. That is why I was explaining.
So what
that.
is the essence of all this big grammar with this?
So they are economic indicators. And bear in mind also that a lot of the time, the figures that you are seeing are usually for the previous month. 1.
Yeah.
Okay.
2, it's a year-on-year comparison. So
Okay.
it means that, for instance, if it cost you 100 cedis to buy X amount of products last year, this year it will cost you 100 cedis plus the current inflation rate for that month. So if it now is at 20-something%, it means that it will cost you, for instance, 126 cedis to buy the same things you bought last year, this year, last month. Does that make sense?
Helen.
The whys in my brain are still crisscrossing, but Michael, that was
Helen, simple
much
question.
needed.
All the 20 things you have just said, what what does it matter to Amaka? Not the simple question. What
Much
does
needed.
it matter to
It's
Amaka?
much needed clarification so that we don't get ahead of ourselves. But I'm still celebrating because it's an indication that things are going in, I guess, the right direction. That downward trend is something that I'm excited about. But I mean, for the ordinary Ghanaian,
when transport fares increased, these long distance drivers, the VIPs, OAs, those people, they also increased their fares.
That's
from
right.
here to Kumasi, from here to Wa, from here to Tamale, Navrongo, Takwa, Takrady, those things. And there was a lot of noise about, and they said, oh, no, but you see, inflation has gone up. And you see, the prices have gone up, so we also have to. Just after all the confusion and series of meetings with the Ministry of Transport, which I have an issue with, they decided to reduce the prices, the fares, I mean. But fuel prices went down. Fares were supposed to go down. They never went down. At best, what we got was a standstill. It was maintained for at least a relatively longer period, as we can see. But I mean, if you come and you are speaking all this inflation,
Sixtus just wants to see it, reflect in his pockets.
Exactly.
He just wants to see it reflect, and so that if officialdom is celebrating, then he just wants to know that we're celebrating because tangibly we can feel it.
Buy sugar or gar 2 months ago, and this month I'm not able to use the same 10 Ghana to buy the same quantity of gar. And you tell me that inflation has gone down. What are you talking about?
It's basically saying that it doesn't cost you so much as it used to buy the same item. It doesn't mean prices have necessarily fallen.
You didn't hear my example.
We'll come back to this, Michael. And in fact, we can, at some point, maybe even next week, get into some money matters. And you can break a few things down for us and make it clearer for us. It's important.
Actually a discussion we want to have on our Twitter space. Within the coming week, we'll have that conversation.
Absolutely.
How much is Christmas costing you? Are you able to afford? I almost said avoid.
Well, last one here on the Guardian Times, and I'll pass it on to the gentleman. $600 million US prestige projects to enhance Kotoka International Airport skyline launched.
Banner headline on the Daily Guide newspaper, EC to display results on website. Also, cannabis not weed. MPs divided over legislation. Apostle Ebenezer Boahin hit with another lawsuit. Insights from BOG governor unpacking pre-COVID stability and post-COVID crisis. This is where they speak the big grammar. It doesn't mean anything to you. Hello World gives 60 computers to schools, and a story that a lot of people will be interested in. John Boydu takes over SIGA. If you know John Boydu, he's former general secretary of the NPP. If you know SIGA, it was run by Ambassador Boateng. If you know Ambassador Boateng, he was one of the key pillars of the Kennedy Ejapong campaign, and just ended NPP primaries. I'm not reading any meanings into it. I'm just trying to let us know who the personalities are.
Thank you.
And on the back page of the Daily Guide newspaper,
I can't believe you right now.
Nana fulfills Midiama pledge. Do you remember Nana? The president made a $1 million pledge to Midiama. Is it FC or SC?
Oh, I see.
Yeah, and the people started complaining that they were not getting the money. Well, good news, it's been redeemed.
Hooray.
People want to destroy us, and there's a headline, Roma's reality different from cities, and that is Mourinho. Mufa AFCON countdown gathers momentum. The Catholic Standards, I just have to do this one. It's a newspaper of the church.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Your church, add that.
The church. First Catholic Education Congress in Africa ends. Pope Francis announces first World Day of Children. Be protectors of our environment. The youth are charged. And criminalizing homosexuality states within its right. The Bishops' Conference is speaking. There's a lot of confusion with this, what the position of the Bishops' Conference is. Recently, when Cardinal Peter Cardinal Texan granted an interview to the BBC, it generated a lot of confusion, and he has since come back to clarify. But it's basically been a very simple communication. You can hate the act, but not the actor.
You're suddenly the communications manager for your church, huh?
No, it's a position I've always held. I've always said that the fact that you are a homosexual does not mean I should hate you. I don't like what you do doesn't mean I hate you, or doesn't mean I should act that they're imprison you. I think it's a very simple point.
And you're just pulling your legs. Well, now to the Finder newspaper. Early flood warning system procured to safeguard lives, properties in flood-prone areas in Accra. It's pretty exciting news to hear. ECG Accra East Region invests 20 million cedis into 80 projects in 2023. That's according to Engineer Otu. You find that on page 4 of the Finder. Petrosol receives AGI's National Quality Awards. But then there's something interesting here, Ellen. Taxi drivers hail Dr. Baumia over new app to rival foreign apps. I think that would be worth a brief read.
Yes, let's do it.
The Ghana Private Road Transport Union, GPRTU, in collaboration with the Office of the Vice President, has officially launched the Tap and Go app in Accra. The digital taxi service aims to provide Ghanaian taxi drivers with a platform similar to established ride-hailing apps like Uber, Yango, and Bolt. The app available for download on the Google Play Store is currently undergoing a pilot phase in selected areas of Accra, including airports, East Legon, University of Ghana, Kaneshie, etc., with plans for a nationwide rollout in the coming years. The Tap and Go app introduces innovative features such as private drop-in, where private cars operate as taxis and metered services, allowing passengers to instantly stop a taxi, activate a meter, and determine the fare. Pretty exciting news. At least if you can't beat them, join them, right?
I agree. Very interesting when the TV3 Ghana handle on X put on X put a tweet up, or not a tweet, now they call it a post because it's no longer Twitter, it's X. Put a post up about this. A lot of you had some very interesting commentary about, you said the apps chow. You said the apps chow. Oh, Charlie.
Oh, but let's cut them some slack. I think this is quite commendable because it kind of levels the playing field. So if you want to do traditional taxi, cool. If you want to jump on the app, cool. So right now, if any taxi driver is complaining raise any concerns about unfair play, now it's up to you. Sign up. That's it.
No, but you see, it's really not about the fairness of it, as into the driver, between the driver and the passenger. It's usually between the app owner and then the driver. If you look at all these ride-hailing apps, that's been the conversation, whether it's Uber or Yango or the other one is what? I want to mention all of them so that no one says
you have Bolt, you have Uber, you have Yango, you have Shaxi, and there are some actually new ones springing up all the time.
Black Ride or something.
Yeah.
So I think that the conversation has always been how much commission the driver has to pay to the company.
Right.
And I think that is where we need to tackle the problem from. Because if you look across, I have had conversations with a lot of these drivers,
right,
and they'll tell you that you earn, you probably charge 11 cedis on a ride, and the commission is 11% of the 11 cedis, and that is going to the company,
right,
and the driver has to think about his fuel, has to think about his tear and wear, has to think about all the other things. You get it. It's true that we are not charging say roadworthy on each drive that you make or ride that you make, or maybe even the fuel on each ride that you make. But if you don't look at it that way, at the end of the day you are also running at a loss.
Well, I have mixed feelings about this, because this is private business, right? And in fact, the percentages are high. I think it's in excess of 20% and up. So sometimes, the drivers going to the company. Yes. But again, this is a company that has invested in this type of infrastructure, this technology. It costs a lot to also run. Yeah. I mean, you can have gripes about if the percentage is too high, but something I've seen these drivers now do is you hear somebody say, "Can we go off trip?" As in, let's go,
because they want to circumvent.
Yes, and I find that, but for that intervention of this company, you wouldn't have access to these clients. So to try and stiff them out of what is due them, I mean, some of the percentages you might say is quite high, But I also, on the flip side, it's like if you're going behind the company's back, that's also just very dishonest because you're operating because they've created a platform that allows you to sit in your car and customers come to you direct. You don't have to go like you would typically and, honking, slowing down, trying to get business. You turn on your phone, you have business all day long.
True.
So it's a tricky conversation.
I think
that the bottom line is that when these ride-hailing apps came into the country, they were doing their 25%, and the riders were fine with it. I think what we are missing is the fact that the concerns of the drivers is the high cost of running a business in the country. Previously, when Uber and the likes came, fuel was selling at 2, 3 CDs, 4 CDs ish. Pre-COVID, it was under 6 CDs.
That's right.
But a lot of things have happened, and suddenly fuel is 12 CDs. Sometime last year, I think it was 16 CDs thereabout when the dollar conversation, the dollar began acting up. So the bottom line, really, I don't think it's necessarily the rate, but I think it's the impact of the economy on these drivers
that is what will make the drivers feel the rate.
The point is that. So my point is that really, the rate is a symptom, not the problem.
I agree with that.
If the drivers were, for instance, buying fuel at 3 CDs,
I wasn't hearing a lot of that conversation when
the
price, you said the cost of doing business was actually lower. It's now that we've seen things increase that you're always saying, can we go off trip? And, so really, Michael, I think you're onto something.
True, because
the demonstrations started, the guys on Uber particularly, they started their demonstrations way back, and it's always been about the commission that is paid to.
So it's true, but I'm saying that it got worse with the economy worsening because now the dollar is up, importation costs are high. It means that spare parts are more expensive. It means that you're spending more on fuel. It means that the purchasing power of the income that you're generating has dwindled. So obviously you will feel the pain. So I don't think it's necessarily that, but if we fix the economy, I don't think they'll have.
I'm getting some interesting comments on this one, but it's something we can talk about. We'll park it for now and park the news review as well. Time check, it is some 12 minutes to the top of the hour, but our resident biter is ready. Teeth sharpened. Don't go anywhere. Tell a friend to tell a friend.
Let me just remind all the transport ministry, the MPs, and everybody that it takes you 12 hours to drive from Kumasi to Wa instead of 6 hours.
Thank you.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Certified bona fide. The lovers mesmerized. The fans